You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, Young and the Restless fans. It is Soap Dirt on YouTube, and we want to talk about Nick Newman choosing Sharon over Sally. Again, he's doing it again, people. This has got to be the death knell for Nick's relationship with Sally, doesn't it? Nick seems to be just sliding back into his old bad habits, where he usually sleeps with an ex and fouls up things with his current girlfriend or fiance, whoever he's involved with. And let's face it, Nick's been good for a while now, actually too long considering his history. And here is how he is going to choose Sharon over Sally again and probably break that relationship for good. Before we dig deep into this, if you haven't already, please reach down, click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our Young and the Restless updates, spoilers, and more. So, I mean, come on. We get why Nick had to prioritize Sharon over Sally with that Cameron Kirsten thing. Cameron Kirsten was a legitimate threat. He, was trying to hurt Faith. He was trying to hurt Sharon. I mean, let's get it. But because of that, Nick missed out on when Sally needed him most. And that was when she was losing her baby daughter. She completely blames Adam, and she somehow thinks that if Nick had been there, the decision would have been different and he would have chosen baby Ava. No, he wouldn't. And he told her that. He told her he would have chosen her too, because of the medical information that Adam was given would have been the same that Nick would have been given, and that was the baby can't probably be saved because her lungs aren't developed enough. And that's why he chose Sally. But Sally's forgiven Nick for being off with Sharon doing this Cameron thing because it's very understandable. But right now, Sally is grieving, she's angry, she's alone, and Nick is over at Sharon's house. He's delivering her mail, and so he's conveniently there as Sharon opens this package from Cameron Kirsten's attorney. There was journals, some other crap, a dog collar, his dead dog's ashes, and there were documents to this business that Cameron owns, and he has left it to Sharon. And then in next week's scenes for Young and the Restless, Sharon wants Nick to help her, and they're talking about this box of stuff that Cameron left, presuming they're talking about the business that he left her. And she says, but you have to get your hands dirty, and Nick says, whatever it takes. So he is just committed to Sharon to do whatever it takes to help solve her problem. That's great for Sharon, but realistically, it's not his problem right now. Cameron is dead. Faith has left Genoa City, and Sally needs him. This is the woman that he said he loved, and he promised he would be there for her. Already once he hasn't been there, but you get that because Cameron was threatening his daughter and his ex-wife. But now, as Sally is at the lowest point in her life, he is still not there, all right? And specifically, Victoria suggested that he should take time off work to go through this grieving process with Sally. Of course, Victoria had her own agenda for pushing him out on that leave of absence, but it's like it hasn't crossed Nick's mind that maybe, at least in that one respect, that Victoria was right. And instead, he's over at Sharon's place. And also, Nick told Adam to leave Sally alone. And so Adam is, but so is Nick. So he told Sharon that he was going to go over later and check on Sally, but then he stayed, and they're continuing to talk about this Cameron stuff and continuing to plot, and Sally is alone. And of course, Sally said, leave me alone. I mean, she's at the lowest point in her life, but if Nick really loves her, wouldn't he be there for her anyway? Wouldn't he push himself through the door? We all know that Nick can be kind of an annoying bully who won't go away when you want him to sometimes. He's not a shrinking violet at all. And why is he not over there just packing up her suitcase? She doesn't have hardly any stuff, and just bringing her home with him, or at least, doing something to ensure that Chloe is there with her. Instead, he's saying, oh, Sally said, that she just wants this time alone, so I'm going to give it to her. That's like a woman telling you you don't have to buy her flowers or a birthday present or a Christmas present. You can't listen. Buy the present. Buy the flowers. Every woman wants the president wants the flowers. And Sally is saying, I just want to be alone. She doesn't want to be alone. She wants to be comforted. She needs someone there while she's grieving. And Nick is neglecting her because, let's face it, Sally grieving isn't sexy. And Nick and Sally's relationship has been 98.7% about them in the bed. They don't go out on dates. He doesn't spend time with her with his son, Christian. As far as I know, she's never been to his house, but then because the baby died, he asked her to move in. And it's weird. It's like, and I think in a lot of ways, Nick wanted to be with Sally to keep her away from Adam. And now Sally doesn't want to be anywhere near Adam. So is that why Nick is losing interest? Because been there, done that, and he won, And let's face it, this drama with Sharon is more exciting. So how long until Nick and Sally are over and done? Even if he doesn't cross lines with Sharon, it seems likely that this relationship is doomed. And we just heard that they are having July sweeps this year for most of the month of July. And so that means they're going to be amping up the drama, and that means breakups, shakeups, makeups. All right, we're going to talk about 3 ways that we see this going. But first, if you haven't already, please click that like button and click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our updates, spoilers, and more. So, it could be that Nick's running around doing stuff with Sharon and for Sharon, and Sally just has enough and says, we're done, and dumps him. That's fine. Another way this could go is Nick does all this stuff, running around, do stuff with Sharon, and he cheats with Sharon, and so Sally dumps him. And the third way that we're thinking this could go is that Sally just dumps him preemptively because grief is eating her alive and he's just not there and she just doesn't know what to do. And she's spiraling and she's like, we should take a break. And then he's free to run around and do whatever with Sharon. Either way, it seems like a real long shot that Nick and Sally can survive this, especially with him bailing again on her. It's like adding insult to injury, and it just seems like too much. What do you think? Does Nick deserve to get dumped?
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.